Most people have their whole life on their phone. Just think about it. Obviously, you have your contacts, their information, and phone numbers, but you also have your credit card information, your investments, your bank accounts, your location, everywhere you've been for the last 5 years, your home address, your personal photos, your calendar events, or your password sign-ins, blackmail on your enemies, basically everything. Now, imagine 20 years ago leaving the house with all that information on you. You go to the beach, the pool, the bar, there's no way you would take all that stuff with you. So you really have to safeguard all that stuff, and that's what this video is about. In this video, I'm going to show you how to keep all your data safe, how to keep your phone locked, how to keep your passwords and everything secure, how to keep people and apps from snooping on you, and how to maybe recover your phone if you do lose it. So stay tuned for the whole video. There's a lot of important information in here, and I do have a lot of these videos about display and customization and advanced tips and all that kind of stuff. I'll list them in the description if you're interested to get into those. So that was my intro. Now let's get into the video here. First off, you need to know who's monitoring you, what apps are monitoring you, and what information is being accessed on your phone. So let's review your permissions. So let's swipe down here. We're going to get into Settings, Security, and Privacy. Then we're going to scroll down here to Privacy. And then we're going to go into the Permission Manager right here. So it takes a second to load up. So in this screen, it breaks down all the information that's being used by your sensors, not by apps. So it might be a little easier for you to review. So if you go through here, these are all, the sensors and things that they're accessing, your contacts and your, your phone, your location, all that kind of stuff. You can scroll through here. And now any of these could be accessed by a bunch of different stuff. So you can click on it and get more detail. So if we click on this here, so it says here the body sensors. No apps are allowed to use this. Allowed only when I use it. For some reason, Bixby Voice is in there. I never use it, so I'm not sure how it got in there. But then also you could have apps that are not allowed to use this under any circumstances. So let's go back, and you could also go right here, View All Permissions. So click on that. So this will give you the apps that have used all the sensors and your information on your phone. So again, you can see the list here, and you can just go through all these, your calendar, your contacts, your location. And some apps need to have access to this stuff, but a lot of them probably don't. So you can go through all the permissions here, and you can go through and see what apps are using what information and have access to the information. And you could decide if they really need it or not. So you could check for the last 24 hours. Then you could also check for the last 7 days and go through everything. So this lists everything by permissions. You could also have it listed by apps. So if you click on here, this will break down all your apps and tell you what they've accessed in the last 24 hours and in the last 7 days. So, you could just click here, Samsung Health. Well, the only thing it accessed was my contacts. Okay, I'll allow that. You could also go up here and click this little eye, and this will tell you what all your permissions are. This will give, like you saw the list there, body sensors, calendar, call logs. This will tell you what all these things mean and what information is being accessed. Let's go back here. Now, the other thing on this little screen here, you could shut off your camera and microphone access. So if you are doing something, really down and dirty, you can shut these off. So that means no one will be able to listen in on you, and no one will be able to, use your cameras to see what you're doing or anything like that. Some apps, do that in the background occasionally. Now, if you shut both of these off, you can't use them either. So if, you try to take a picture or something like that, it won't work. So if you do shut them off, just remember to turn them back on. Now let's get back here. Another important one that we could drill even further down into access is click location in your settings. Then you could see what we got here. You could obviously just turn off your location if you don't want anyone accessing it, but that's sometimes not feasible. And then you can click on here. So if you're into the location here, it'll tell you which apps are allowed to use it all the time. Like your weather app and stuff like that, you might want that. Then you could scroll down here, only allowed when you are using the app. So if you're not using it, then they're not allowed to access your location. And then you can see here, not allowed. So none of these apps are allowed to access my location. So let's get out of that. Then you could also click on location services here. The reason I'm in this screen is to show you here the Wi-Fi scanning and the Bluetooth scanning. You want to turn both of these off, because basically if this is on, then an app can use your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth to find out your location more precisely without you even knowing about it. And with you actually turning your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth off, then the app can still use the information. And they could be doing this in the background. It could be doing it just every once in a while, or it could be doing it every 10 minutes. So that's not good that they're accessing you that much. But also then it's also killing your battery. So again, I turn these off. Okay, so as we discussed, you have a lot of information on this phone. So you want this phone to lock when you're done using it immediately, if possible. So we scroll down here, we're going to get into settings again. And we're going to go into the lock screen. We're going to go into secure lock settings. So I gotta just put my pin in there. There's a lot of different settings that you can go through on here, but the couple I want to point out is this one. So auto lock when screen turns off. So click on here. For some reason I have it set for 5 seconds. I'm not sure, but basically when the screen goes off, then it locks. And you could have a screen timeout of 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever you want. Just keep in mind, if you have that, you could have your phone sitting on the table for 5 or 10 minutes and then it won't lock, because this is only going to lock when the screen goes off. And then after it goes off, then you could set this time frame. Now, you don't want to set for 30 minutes or something like that, because then someone could have your access to your information for 30 minutes. Then they could also go into this setting and turn it off. And then the other thing is, when you go in here, lock instantly with the side button. So if you're going to put your phone down, I usually just shut it off with the button, and then it will lock instantly. So I'm not just placing it down, I hit the button, I shut off what I'm doing, and then it's locked. So that's a nice way to secure the phone. Just make sure you have this on. Then also get in the practice of hitting the side button to shut off your phone before you put it down. Or again, have it auto lock and then have your screen time out for like 1 minute or something like that. So then the phone will lock very, very quickly, even if you forget to do it. Okay, another important thing here is if you are going to have your phone fixed. If you crack your screen or you're replacing the battery or, whatever's going on there, you bring it in to having it fixed, and basically you have to hand it to a person, and sometimes they need it unlocked so they could check and see what's going on for diagnostics. And then they also need to maybe, check if they're replacing a screen that it's actually working and all that other kind of stuff. So they sometimes want you to unlock it, and then they have access to all the information that you have on here. So that's not good. So let me show you how to fix that. We got to get into settings here. Then we're going to scroll down. This is actually in the battery menu over here. Then we're going to scroll down into maintenance mode, and then we just click that. And then we're going to turn it on. You could read everything it says here, but basically it's going to keep all your personal data safe, and it's only going to give them access to apps that are preloaded onto the phone. And then also anything they add, they won't be able to add a virus or a malware or a tracking app or anything like that, because anything they do while the maintenance mode is activated will not be saved. And then you just have to unlock it and then turn this off. It also does say here, back up your data. So you could back it up on cloud here, or you could just do the external storage. And then basically I have one of these I love. This is the Samsung T7. I'll put it in the description so you could find it. It's basically a USB drive, nothing on this side, and it just has the port here. And you plug it in, and you'll quickly, especially if on a Samsung phone, it will just back up automatically, and you could just pick what you want to back up. This is, like I said, the T7. They are coming out with a T9, which is newer, but the T7 still work great. Just means that the T7 is going to be on better sales, and this actually goes on sale a lot right now. So just watch it. I'll put it in the description. You could find it and monitor for the price changes and consider buying it. They also have a version of this that's called the Shield, which is basically the same thing. It's just water and dust resistant, and it's also shock resistant. So if you are out and about and doing stuff, it's a nice device to have. Okay, now let's get into a couple more settings here. This is another feature that you need to turn on, because basically this will allow the phone to be scanned for malware and viruses and things like that, and have your apps scanned on a regular basis. So let's get into settings here, and then we're going to go into security and privacy. Then we're going to scroll down here, app security, and then device protection. So we're going to click on that. Now, you could just hit scan phone, and then it will obviously go through everything. Just one caveat, this is an unlocked phone. If you have a carrier phone, sometimes they disable this, or sometimes they'll add their own app into there. So just be mindful of it. This is where it is on an unlocked phone, and it should be there even on a carrier phone. So now, we could scan the phone, and then we could also click the 3 dots right up here, device protection settings. I'm not sure why this is hidden between 5 different submenus, but here it is. And I just turn these on because I have the app scanned daily, and then any new app, which is really important, have that scanned before it gets installed. That's really an important thing to do. And I have these both on, and from the beginning, I haven't had any issues with slowing down, or the phone's not stuttering or anything like that. This goes on in the background. I'm not even aware that it's going on. So if you are having an issue, I guess you could turn it off, but I would probably recommend leaving them on if at all possible. I think the best way to secure your phones with your fingerprints. Some people like doing the face unlock and pins and patterns and all that kind of stuff, but I prefer the fingerprint. So I'm going to show you a tip on that. So let's get into settings here. And we got to get into security and privacy. And then we just scroll down here to lock screen and then fingerprints. And we got to do our pin again. You can name your fingerprints. So this way you'll know which fingerprints you put in there in case you want to add one or change one or something like that, or delete one. You could do it. If most of your unlocks work and there's just your right thumb is not working very well, well then just go ahead and delete that and redo it. Or you could even do it you could put it in there twice. You could put 2 right thumbs in there, and then thumb 1, thumb 2, and then this way the sensitivity might be a little better if there was any kind of issue. But I haven't had any issues at all with the fingerprint unlocking here. But if you do, again, those are some things that you can do. Then again, you could add your finger right here, and then you could also check if you added a fingerprint. So if you added a bunch of fingerprints on here and you did not name them already, well, you could do it after the fact. Just hit here, check on fingerprints, and I'm just going to pull this up so I can access it, and it just blinks on the screen here. So right thumb, and then it goes away. But that's how you can check which ones they are, and then you could label them. And the other tip I usually give on some of these videos, especially on the initial setups, is that put a fingerprint of your spouse or your good friend or your brother or sister, parents, whatever you want to put in there. Because if you do have a PIN or a password or something like that, or a face unlock, if something happens to you, they may not be able to unlock the phone, and they may need access to personal things in there. You might want to have your spouse or a family member be able to access your phone to maybe change your social media accounts or access to your bank accounts and things like that. So that's something that doesn't change. So even if you change your PIN or your password 6 months down the road, you're not probably telling your person, your spouse or your brother or whatever, that you changed it, and then they go to use it and they can't unlock it. So that's always a good thing to do. Just add someone that you trust to put their fingerprint into your phone. Okay, so I just told you how much data you have on your phone and how important it is to have the phone locked down like Fort Knox, right? But sometimes that's a pain in the ass. Let me show you a couple of things that we could do to make it a little easier so you're not unlocking the phone all the time. This is a feature that used to be called Smart Unlock. Now it's called Smart Lock. I think it's going to be, in the new software update, it's going to be called Nearby Unlock, whatever it is. It should be in the same spot. So let me just show you how to get in there. It's in Settings. Then we got to scroll down to Lock Screen here, and then Smart Lock right there. We got to do our PIN again. And now this is the smart lock that you have here. Again, this might be called Smart Unlock in the future or Nearby Unlock or whatever it is. But on-body detection. So basically you could turn this on, and this is, if the phone senses that it's still on you, it's going to stay unlocked. I don't really trust this one that much, but if you like it, you can. And basically if it senses movement, then it's going to stay unlocked. And then if you take your phone out of your pocket, it's already unlocked, and you can do whatever you want to. And then if you put it down on a table, then it's going to lock. Hopefully that's the plan. I just don't use this one, but it's probably safe. I just don't trust it. Now, trusted places. This is a nice one. So now you can add your home. You could add, I wouldn't add your work, but if your home or, your family member's house, you could have it set so that when you're at that location, the phone will stay unlocked. That's a really nice feature, and you can just add that very easily by just hit Add Trusted Place. And then another one here, Trusted Devices. So now basically you could add any device that is hooked up to your phone, buds, your watch, your car, anything that's hooked up to your phone through Bluetooth. Then if your phone is actively connected through Bluetooth to that device, it will stay unlocked. So that's great. If you have your watch on, then basically you can just have your phone unlocked all the time because you have your watch on you. But then if you put your phone down and you walk away, your watch is still with you, the phone will automatically lock because it doesn't sense the phone anymore. It's also nice if you have it set up for your car. Then anytime you're in your car, your phone is unlocked if you need access to anything quickly. So I use this feature all the time. I just have been testing a lot of different devices, and I just haven't set it up yet. Okay, so I'm back in the settings in the lock screen. If you do use your lock screen a lot, then you probably want to customize it. So this is the lock screen here. We could just click on this, and then it opens up, and you could kind of adjust these things. You could pick a different clock and do colors and all that kind of stuff. You can make it bigger or smaller just a little bit. You could also change the apps that are down here, all that kind of stuff. You could change your wallpaper, and then you just hit done. Then you can also change the widgets that are on your lock screen. So if you just click on this, these are the widgets that are there, and you could just, again, toggle them on and off if you want them displayed or not. And you could also, reorder them if you want to. So if you use your lock screen all the time and you're always on display all the time and you really want to customize the heck out of this thing, well, you can. So we get into the app called GoodLock. This is that you could download this from the Galaxy Store. So let's go ahead and click on this, and then it brings up this. And inside GoodLock is actually a bunch of different other apps or settings and customizations, and you can go through here. There's a whole bunch there. So there's a lot to focus on here. There's a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of things that you could go through and have a lot of fun with, but we can't make the video 7 hours. So we're just going to go into LockStar. So if you click on this one here, this just gives you a little more flexibility than you had with just the regular lock setting. So, this thing you can move around if you want. If you click on this, you could hit this little icon down here in the corner. And then, you could change the widget if you want and do something different, if you want to. And then, you could do this. You can kind of adjust the size of it, all that kind of stuff you can do. And then just remember to hit save. Then that would be done. And, that would be your screen that pops on when you double tap your screen. And then if you go here, you just click on this. And then this stuff you could modify. So this is my widget that I added. If you click on this, then you can click right here, and then you go into the widget setting. Then you could, change it the way you want. Then the other thing is with these, you can click on this, and then you can click that little icon in the corner there, and again, you can change the colors and do stuff. Then you could also add a widget if you want. So if you just click here, You could add a widget, and then you can go through all these. And then if you see here, there's 3 different widgets you can use for Google. So click on that, and then it will show them here, the 3 that are there, and then you could add them on there if you like, and that will show up on your always-on display if you want. So then when you shut the screen off, then you get the lock screen there. I had to wipe it down quick because there was just so many darn fingerprints on there. Another great feature on this, and something that you probably should set up, is you can set up a secure folder. And in that secure folder is basically like another phone, basically. Everything you put in there is, completely private, which is really great. So when you set up the folder for the first time, it's going to ask you for a bunch of permissions to activate it, and then it takes a few minutes to create, and then once you do it, it's going to ask you, do you want a PIN, a password, fingerprint, or however you want to secure it. So let me just show you how to set it up and what you need to do, because I already set it up. Sorry, I couldn't wait for you. So we're going to go into settings here and security and privacy. And we're going to scroll down to secure folder, which is right down here. Click on that. And then I'm going to put in my password. It's now into the secure folder here. Again, this is a whole separate system here. So the lock type, you could put whatever you want in here, however you want to secure it. So auto lock the secure folder. So this is your options here. Each time I leave an app, when the screen turns off, and at a time period, and then only when the phone restarts. So I definitely want to do any of these. Do the first 2 there, because again, this is a secure folder where you have all your stuff in there. So you want to keep it as secure as possible. Okay, so let me show you the secure folder, what it is, right here. And you just click on it, and then this is all my stuff in here that I just blurred out. So this is all my bank accounts and my private stuff that's on there. Now, if you want to add an app, you click on here. So this is all the apps that are on your regular phone. You could just click it, and then it will download it into your secure app, but it would be a copy. And so this ABC app will not connect with the other ABC app. So you could have a secure calendar in the secure folder that would have different events on it that you would not be able to access if you're not in the secure folder, and your other calendar would be completely different. Same thing with photos or bank accounts or anything like that. And you could download them from the Galaxy Store or the Google Play Store. So if you click on these 3 dots here, you could add files to the secure folder if you like to. You can customize it, and the settings, that just takes us back to that screen that we had before. But I'm going to show you how to customize it a little bit. So secure folder, if this is on your phone, that's kind of obvious if anyone, is after any information that you have. So it's very easy to find that, and, could force you to put in a password or something like that. But you could change the name, obviously. Just click here, and you delete it and type in whatever you want there. Then, obviously, you could just change the color. That's not really going to fool anybody, right? But you can change the icon. So let me just put this down here. So this is the icon there. I mean, you could have a text message icon. You could have one of these things. And then, again, you change the name, and you got this different icon. No one's going to know what the heck it is. So that's hidden kind of in plain sight. So that's something to do when you get a chance. Hide this well. You can even have the app hidden if you want. But I think if you do something like this, no one's going to know what it is. Okay, so this is not really a privacy thing per se, but, I just put this in this video here. So you might like it. A very cool thing that you could do is if you're in your Wi-Fi and someone's at your house or whatever, and you want to give them the Wi-Fi password, but it's 15 characters or something, right? Your Wi-Fi is secured, I hope, but it should be. If it's not, then do it. So instead of having to give them the 15-digit combo special character password that you have, you can just click the gear here and then hit QR code. And you got to do your password again, but then it shows you this QR code. So they just scan this, and then they'll have access to it. Now, you're not really being tricky, and you still have to trust this person, because they will have access to the password once you give them this. So it's just like you, again, writing the password and hand it to them, but it's just much easier to do it this way, right? I think so. So let's set up a secure Wi-Fi, and this one I was waiting to do on video for the first time, so we'll see how it goes here. So we're going to scroll down here, hit settings. Then we got to go into security and privacy. And then we just have to scroll down here to the bottom here, secure Wi-Fi. Just click on that. So this basically just protects your privacy. And, if this is what you use, if you're, in an airport or something like that, and you're using a public Wi-Fi, you could have your data a little more protected. So let's continue. And then, of course, everyone has to ask permissions, and Samsung is going to ask you a location, which kind of makes sense for this one. So I'm going to allow it. So as you can see here, you got the free protection plan, which is basically over $1 a month, which is not too bad. And then you could also turn this on automatically, so anytime you're on a public Wi-Fi, it will automatically engage this. And then if you want to upgrade here, we click on this. And you can see here, again, $1 a month for free, not too bad. And if you want to upgrade here, just show you what's available. You could do the 1 month. And for an unlimited plan, it's $199 a month, which is not too bad, especially if you are using public Wi-Fi a lot. And you could also just do it for the day if you want, so 99 cents for the day. Again, if you're just traveling and you only need it for 2 days or something like that, you can go ahead and engage that. So those are your 2 different options on there. Now, the last thing that we're getting close to the end of the video here. This is if you actually lose your phone, against all odds, you lost it. You hope for the best, but we could set up a couple of things now to maybe make it a little easier. So let's scroll down here, go into settings and security and privacy. Again, that's the topic of this video, right? And then find my mobile. And allow this phone to be found. Obviously, you want to click that on, and then you want to click on all these things here. Now, you also want to sign into your Samsung account and make sure you have your password and username written down outside of your phone, because if you lose your phone, you're not going to be able to have access to it, obviously. But, things that you don't think about until after the fact. And then you can click on all these things if you'd like. Allow this phone to be found, remote unlock. This might be nice if you have a parent or, a kid or something like that that constantly forgets the password or something like that. Then you could remote unlock their stuff if you want to. And this sends you to the last location. And then offline finding, just in case your phone is not online, it could still send you a location. So definitely that is the best chance you have of finding it, I think. The other thing I do is on my lock screen, I always put in case of emergency, and that number is on there. So if someone, is honest and finds my phone, even on the lock screen, they'll be able to see that number and hopefully call it, and, then I'd be able to retrieve my phone that way. The other thing you want to do is make sure you have all your data backed up. So we're going to go to accounts and backup. Then we're going to back up our data. This is with the Samsung Cloud. So then you can back up these things there. And then also you want to back up your data on Google Drive. If you want to, you could back up now. And so just toggle this on. So then all your stuff is backed up. Your photos, your contacts, your phone history, all that kind of stuff is saved on Google. So Google does know everything about you, but hopefully they're a benign entity. Who knows? But this is all the stuff that it's backing up. And then if you, you want to do this just when you're at Wi-Fi at home, or if you have an unlimited data plan, then you could do it when you're out and about if you want. And then if you're not really happy with Google, for some reason you're not using this Google sign-in or something like that, then you can go here, just go back, and then we could do external storage transfer. But, if you're not the kind of person that does this on a daily basis or a weekly basis, you're probably going to forget. So this would be something maybe you do like once a month, and then maybe have the other backup services take care of it. So that's all I have for privacy and security. I hope there was a couple of tips in there that were helpful for you, and some tips that you might use. And if there was, please consider subscribing. This is the part of the video that I beg you to subscribe and like and share and all that kind of stuff. That does help me with YouTube, and it justifies them actually trying to help me out and grow the channel. So I really appreciate that. So I have about 4 or 5 different videos on the Z Fold 5, and they were categorized so you can pick which one is of interest to you. And then I'm also going to do one probably about the S Pen, or 1 or 2 about the S Pen in the next few weeks here. So again, consider subscribing, but I'll put all the videos in the description so you could find them there. Thanks for spending your time with me today, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much.